Let's be real. Success doesn't come from what you choose to do every once in a while. It comes from what you do consistently, what you do intentionally. But staying consistent can definitely be a challenge, especially when life gets hard and especially when you don't see instant results. And so in this video, I'm going to give you 3 powerful ways to become more consistent, whether you're building a brand, writing a book, or launching your dream. Hi, my name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a wife, a mother, I'm a woman of God, and I am a trendsetter. I help authors, speakers, and coaches stand out as subject matter authorities on their topic and in their industry. And I do this by helping them to write and self-publish a best-selling book, and then I teach them how to turn their book into programs, courses, and premium price coaching communities. So you got to understand that consistency starts before action. Being consistent is a decision. It's a decision of whether to get up and do the thing or whether to stay sitting on the sofa. It's a decision whether to eat the carrot sticks or whether to eat the potato chips, right? You're not gonna always feel like showing up. You're not gonna always feel like doing the thing you need to do to get the results, but your commitment has to be stronger than your feelings. Your commitment has to be stronger than your feelings. Right now, like for example, right now, I'm on day 4 of a raw food diet, okay? I joined this challenge that I saw on Instagram called Raw Week. You can find it at Raw Week, RAWWEEK, and this is not sponsored. I was attracted to it because I used to be plant-based and I used to be into raw foods. And I actually did the raw food diet to lose the weight from both of my pregnancies. And so now that I am 41, I've had some health conditions, I found myself gravitating back to plant-based eating to regulate my hormones and to shed a lot of the weight. And so this is actually, I've attempted Raw Week probably about 3 or 4 other times. And the other times I would do like raw till 4, or I would cheat a little bit or something like that. This is the very first time that I made it to day 4 with nothing processed at all, no meat after 4 o'clock, no nothing, and I'm so proud of myself. And so there was some key changes that I had to make this time because it's a 5-day challenge, right? But I said I want to go for at least 7 to 10 days. It's a 5-day challenge, so tomorrow will really officially complete my Raw Week. And today I'm on day 4, and I came into this saying I'm gonna be successful this time. But you know what? It has really taken me to be consistent. It's taken me to block out the noise. Like while I'm making my children and my family some chicken wings and some delicious some asparagus and other things, I'm like, I'm eating cucumber, tomato, and salad. While they're, eating steak or whatnot, I'm eating walnut meat. That's in a nori wrap. It sounds crazy, but I'm like, I have goals. I've got goals where I want to get my cholesterol down. I want to trim some of this weight off. I want to be my healthiest, best self by the time I'm 50 years old. So I've got to start that now, right? And I understand how inconvenient it can be to be consistent and to eat like this. But even though I didn't always feel like it, and even though it wasn't always convenient, I still showed up. Case in point, the other night, you know how like when you go grocery shopping, you don't always feel like cooking because you didn't spend so much time grocery shopping, now you're tired. It was one of those situations. So me and my husband, we went grocery shopping, and then afterwards we were like, let's get something to eat. He wanted pizza. So we got some pizza and some wings for him and the kids. And he was like, before even that, he was running around. We were trying to find something for me to eat. I ended up saying, don't worry about it, I'm good. And plus it's getting late. I don't want to eat after a certain time. So we ended up getting pizza, wings, and lasagna for him and the kids. I didn't eat any of it. Matter of fact, I didn't get fast food. I took myself home and I made a salad. I had some things there for a salad. I don't like salads from a lot of restaurants. They use iceberg lettuce. I don't like iceberg lettuce. So I had things at home that I needed and could use. I made myself a salad and I was good. That was an example of a time when I showed up for myself to stay committed to my goals, even when I didn't really feel like it, okay? So you gotta understand that we will tend to lose consistency when we make things too big. So like instead of saying that, so what this can look like for you is that instead of saying, I'm gonna write a whole book, you can say, I'm going to write a chapter today, or I'm going to write for 15 minutes today, right? One of the easiest ways to maintain consistency without feeling overwhelmed is to break your goals into micro goals and to celebrate each win, because it's your progress that fuels consistency. Another personal example of this that I would like to share is my workout routine. So I have been doing half marathon training for quite some time, and I was like putting all this pressure on myself to work out 5 to 6 days per week because I felt like that's what would help me to accomplish my goals faster. But the reality is that my children are student athletes. I am a doctoral student. I have a lot going on. And so I didn't realize that putting this pressure on myself to work out 90 minutes per day, 5 to 6 days per week was just extra undue stress. So what I did in order to stay consistent, I took the stress off. I said, you know what? If I can work out for 30 minutes a day, a minimum of 30 minutes a day, my goal is to work out for at least an hour, but a minimum of 30 minutes a day, every other day, that's a schedule that I can maintain. So that's gonna help me to stay consistent. I've given myself time parameters. I've put myself on a pattern. Now, if I can work out every day, cool. But I know at least every other day, it gives me a day of rest in between. I can maintain progress and I can maintain consistency by literally breaking it up into smaller micro goals, all right? Next, you want to create accountability and systems because consistency thrives in community and with structure. And so, like for instance, when I built my coaching and consulting business, I didn't rely on sheer willpower alone. I created systems and I had people holding me accountable. And these were not free accountability partners. Oftentimes the people that were holding me accountable were the other people that had invested in the same programs that I had invested in. So when I made investments in myself, I was also able to connect with other people who had a similar mindset, and we were able to connect over on that plane, okay? And you can also use digital tools, trackers, checklists, planners. One of the ways in which I hold myself accountable with my workout routines is through the Peloton app. So every time I work out, it gives me a blue dot. That's my accountability. So I can see when I worked out and when I didn't. In terms of my half marathon training, I use the Runner app. I'll put all these links down below. I use the Runner app to help me track my training because that helps me to train without overwhelming. It helps me to stay on point, right? And so you can join a mastermind, you can join a community, or you can use different systems to help you stay on track, okay? Now, I want you to remember this. You don't have to be perfect, okay? You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to keep showing up because every act of consistency is a seed and you will reap the harvest if you don't quit. See you on the next video. Hi, my name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a wife, a mother, I'm a woman of God, and I am a trendsetter. I help authors, speakers, and coaches stand out as subject matter authorities on their topic and in their industry. And I do this by helping them to write and self-publish a best-selling book, and then I teach them how to turn their book into programs, courses, and premium priced coaching communities.